KGSO Sports Desk, I'm Mason Voth.
Right now, every decision you make is all about timing. At Midwest Kia, the time is now to take advantage of the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Through July 4th weekend only, you'll get 0% APR financing for up to 66 months on select new 2021 Kia models. You can buy with absolutely no money down, and your current vehicle has never been worth more at Midwest Kia. Get up to 130% of NADA trade value. Plus, shop the redesigned Kia Sorento, Sorento Hybrid, and the all-new 8-passenger Kia Carnival. And every new Kia at Midwest Kia comes with Kia's market-leading 10-year warranty. Midwest Kia says, the time is now during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Come in today or visit MidwestKia.com.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
Offers on select models with approved credit plus tax and fees. Not all customers qualify. Limited term financing on Sportage through KMF with $15.15 for $1,000 finance. Limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for details. Expires 7/6/21.
This is Casey from eGraphics in Wichita. Are you tired of being blinded by the sun while driving? We say don't squint, tint. eGraphics is Wichita's undisputed leader in vehicle graphics and window tint. We have a number of options to cut down on glare, reduce interior sun fade damage, and keep your ride cooler and more comfortable. Stop by eGraphics Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays by appointment. eGraphics, 220 South Washington. Call 262-8468 or see us at egraf-x.com.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Going to take a look at Kansas and Oklahoma's closing cash grain bids. It's Thursday. It is the first day of July, and we really saw some downward pressure on the futures markets at the end of the day for corn and wheat and soybeans. And we saw some downward pressure in the cash markets as well. Let's take a look at the numbers. We'll start at Concordia, Kansas today, where the wheat finished at $6.15, corn at $6.52, Milo $6.44, soybeans $14.15. At Goodland, the wheat $6.08, corn $6.76, Milo $6.31, beans $13.95. Sumner County, the wheat $6.24, the corn $6.82, the Milo $6.62, the beans $14.20. At Garden City, the wheat finished today at $6.24, the corn $6.77, Milo $6.52, soybeans $13.76. At Fredonia, the wheat $6.08, corn $6.96, Milo $6.61, soybeans $14.14. At Belleville, the wheat $6.05, the corn $6.42, Milo $6.34, soybeans $14.05. In Oklahoma, starting at Enid, the wheat finished at $6.38, corn $6.21, Milo $6.66, beans $14.10. Ponca City, the wheat $6.09, corn $6.86, $6.60 on the Milo, and $14.05 on the beans. And at Panhandle Hooker, the wheat closed at $6.43, Milo corn $7.21, Milo $6.51, soybeans $13.99. Grab the calculator to do some math. Got our averages, and everything is down. $6.19 the average across Kansas and Oklahoma on wheat. That's down 20. Corn finished at $6.72 on the average. That's down 11. Milo took a huge hit, down 42. The average across Kansas and Oklahoma on Milo, $6.51. Soybeans at $14.04. That's down a nickel. So not a good day all the way across. Wheat down 20, corn down 11, Milo down 42, soybeans down 5. Kansas and Oklahoma closing cash grain bids. Mid-America Ag Network.
Your local weather on KQAM, brought to you by Jewelry Savers. Conveniently located off K96 on Greenwich Road. The Kansas trusted jewelry source since 1971. Jewelry Savers.
Some sunshine breaking through this afternoon in Wichita with rain chances becoming increasingly slim. We'll see a daytime high near 84. Northerly breeze at about 5 to 10. As we head into the overnight, should be dry with temperatures dropping into the middle 60s. A dry and bright Friday on the way, a high near 86. With your forecast, I'm Cake meteorologist Frank Waugh.
That's your latest Cake First Alert weather update on the Big Talker, KQAM.
At 4:06, it's currently 79 degrees.
Fighting for freedom every day.
They are absolutely desperate to pretend the last 4 years never happened and for them to go back to what they liked to do before, which is create these massive spending bills to pretend that it's really, really important to you when you only get about 5% of what's in the bill, and they can't do it because we're aware of it. We're paying attention to it, and they don't like that.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome into the program. We are so close to the 4th of July celebration. Independence Day rocking it. That's what we do here on The Voice Radio, the most patriotic show here on radio, and we are getting darn close to that celebration. Welcome into The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station all over the country, radio and TV, plus our live stream and podcasting thereafter as well. Welcome in your Millennial General reporting for duty. I'm going to do my best, and bear with me today. The cold is almost gone. I'm on the tail end of this stuff. I kind of sound all right now, but the coughing fits kind of catch up with me. So if you hear a long pause for a moment, don't worry, don't freak out, but we're working through. I have my hot tea here ready to go. I got my tea. Oh, yes. Jeez, pass the tea, please. It's delicious, actually. So I have to admit, I am super excited, and I've mentioned this, I've teased it for a little bit, but Mrs. Voice of Reason, she is working on kind of her side of it with the Hooser Media Network. And as you know, we're growing this network. We have more podcasting programming that we come out with on social media. We're creating this whole great empire of podcasting and stuff, along with this show as well and other things. I'm really excited about it. But she, Mrs. Voice of Reason, is going to be doing a portion of it as well with the Hooser Media Network and the Hooser Health, as she is a certified herbologist, and she learns about the plants and the things outside that make things, and it's really cool. And I've told you before about this kind of holistic medicine road that I've kind of gone down, and it's really fascinating to me. And I usually get this type of cold 2 to 3 times a year. I have not gotten one this year. This is the very first one that I've gotten. Last night, for the very first time, Mrs. Voice of Reason used all of the different plants and herbs that she has planted at the house at the Hooser Media Network home front, and was able to walk outside. She clipped off some of the leaves and the branches, whatever she did, came back in, concocted this tea, drank the tea, and now I still sound a little foggy, but I feel better than I have this entire week after drinking that tea. It was amazing. I drank some last night, drank some this morning. I tell you, there's something to this stuff, and it's awesome. So it's all just kind of coming out now, and it's driving me nuts. So bear with me, but we're rocking today, and it's going to be a great one. And I can't give you the recipe of the tea because I don't know what it is, but Mrs. Voice of Reason, rocking it with the Hooser Media Network and the Hooser Health, and that stuff's going to be coming out soon. Be prepared for that and more information on that front. Super excited about that one. Super excited about the show today, too. It's going to be a good one. Karen STRAUGHN, male rights advocate. We've had her on the program before out of Canada. She'll be joining us at the bottom of the hour, and we'll look forward to chatting with her. She's always a great guest, and she'll be talking about the critical race theory and many teachers, many parents that are fighting against the critical race theory mindset that is coming into the United States and Canada as well, which is really wild. So we'll talk about that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Let me ask you a question, though. This kind of goes with the health as well. The holistic medicine, the natural medicine. A lot of people don't like it, which is totally cool. To each your own. If you want to go to regular doctors and do your thing, that's cool. If you want to go to holistic medicine, that's cool. If you don't go to the doctor, that's cool too. Whatever your lifestyle is, I don't care. That's the beauty of conservatism. That's the beauty of free individual thought, is you get to make the decisions that you want to based on your health and the decisions that you want. But we've talked a lot about personal responsibility on this show, and that's one thing that drives the left-wing side of the aisle absolutely mad. They hate personal responsibility. If you mention that you are personally responsible for your own life, your own finances, your own health, your own career, you're not a victim, society didn't bring you down, but you are responsible for where you're at in your life. They don't like that. They know. And my theory is that life is just too hard for them. And for a lot of people, it is very difficult. It is very hard. And I'm not taking that away in any way, shape, or form. And many people have to work a lot harder than others do in this world. That's just the way the world is. That's the way the life is. You can look at that perspective-wise on the grand scale, however you choose to do so. But at the same time, one thing that we've really gotten away from in society, unfortunately, is personal responsibility. Cause and effect. Consequences. And it falls into the abortion issue, for example. If you have an abortion, is it because you are just not prepared? Is it because you made a bad decision? Is it because you're a victim? Whatever happened there, decision should be kind of made beforehand instead of afterwards. And that's the way a lot of people look at it. When it comes to universal health care, the way I see universal health care and the individual mandates or the single payer plans that they talk about with universal health care at the federal level is, well, I don't want to take the responsibility for my own health and how I look at health insurance, and I go out and search for health insurance and I get my own coverage. I just want the government to take care of me. We see the fight right now for $15 an hour minimum wage. I don't want to gain the experience to work my way up the ladder to make more money. I just believe that I am entitled to walking into a job field and making $15 an hour right away because I got to take care of my family. Even though the majority of individuals that make minimum wage are not, ones with a 4-family member household, but they're individuals coming out of high school or maybe even coming out of a bad situation, coming out of jail or something, trying to gain some experience to work their way up. You're not intended to have a livelihood on minimum wage. It's supposed to be a stepping stone to work up to bigger and better things. And if you're on that at the age of 60 years old and you've been there your entire life, then that's on you because you really haven't, pushed yourself to be better and you've been content and you've been okay with the lifestyle that you have. That's on you. That's not on society when it becomes more and more difficult to take care of yourself at that wage level. We look at personal finance. If you have a $200,000 mortgage and you have a $50,000 loan for a car and you have $20,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 in credit card debt and, you have all this debt, then you can't go to your boss and say, I'm not making enough money to pay my bills. You need to give me a raise. Because the boss will laugh at you and say, that's what the level that your income is actually qualified at for the skills that you have. I'm not paying you anymore. It's not their responsibility to pay you more based on your personal lifestyle choices. Doesn't work that way. Personal responsibility. The reason I bring this up is because I want to throw something at you here. And when I read these stories, I literally thought they were a joke. I thought both of these stories, I thought they were jokes. I thought they were parodies. I thought it was like the Babylon Bee, where they were just funny, but come to find out they're actually true. Here's the first one. And I laughed as soon as I saw the headline for this. This is according to theguardian.com, which is why, again, I wasn't sure whether this was real or not. The first headline from The Guardian: the United Kingdom to ban junk food advertising online and before 9 p.m. on TV starting in 2023. Let that sink in for a second. The United Kingdom banning junk food advertising online and before 9 p.m. on TV from 2023. They prohibit the adverts for products in fat, salt, and sugar, and could cost broadcasters more than $200 million annually in revenue. Fast food restaurants not being able to advertise their products because they're fighting an obesity problem in the United Kingdom. Now, what's the first rule when you maybe have a gambling addiction or you have an alcoholic addiction? The first rule is you need to accept that you have said addiction, right? Do you create an environment where you don't have alcohol around you? Sure, you have an environment where you try and surround yourself around other people that support you. You try and make sure you don't have that as accessible or as an option, but really you have to admit that you have a problem to begin to work through them. So that way, ideally, you get to the point in your life that if you see an alcoholic beverage or you see an advertisement of an alcoholic beverage, it doesn't trigger you to want to run to the bar and drink 10 shots. That's the goal, right? Why are we banning fast food advertisements for fast food on TV and on the interweb? Do we literally not have any control over ourselves anymore? Are we just that compulsive that, oh my gosh, we saw an advertisement for McDonald's or for Burger King or for whatever, name that fast food joint that you want to go to. You see it and you have to go to it right now. You have no control over yourself, that you have to do such an impulse that now we need to completely block them. It's kind of like social media. We have the filter now. We don't want to see stuff from the other side of the aisle. It triggers us. It makes us feel very uncomfortable. We want to see that stuff. We want to see the things that are encouraging. We want to see the stuff that reinforces our ideas. We have that filter, that safe space. Now, apparently, internet and TV in the United Kingdom are safe space from fast food restaurants, because how dare we try to entice people to purchase their money at a private industry because they have no control over themselves. Is that a problem with the fast food industry? Or is that a problem with the individuals that are compulsive and can't control themselves? And if it is a problem that can't control themselves, then we need to look a little bit deeper at that person, do we not? It kind of goes with the same argument, by the way, of those that do mass shootings. Do we look at the person that's shooting the gun and be like, why are they shooting the gun? Do we have a mental instability problem here? Do we need to look deeper at the psychosis of them? Or do we say, there's a gun, that's very scary, let's try and take that away? So that's story number one. The sad part is it's actually being promoted by some of the conservatives out there. According to The Guardian, the government is poised to announce the ban on junk food advertising online and before 9 p.m. on TV from 2023 as Boris Johnson looks to deliver his pledge to tackle the UK's growing obesity crisis. The 9 p.m. pre-watershed ban, advertising TV products deemed to be high in fat, salt, and sugar could cost TV broadcasters such as ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, and Sky more than $200 million a year in ad revenue. The online ban would affect all paid-for forms of digital marketing, from ads on Facebook to paid searches results on Google, text message, promotions, and paid activity on sites such as Instagram and the Tweety. It's estimated that more than $400 million is spent on advertising food products online in the UK annually. So, let's punish the company. Let's punish the industry from the company that's trying to promote their product and spend the money in advertising, because now that's not going to get their name or voice out there. Well, let's also punish the the media outlet, the internet or the TV or the radio or whatever, with the advertising revenue, because we can't promote those products any longer because people don't know how to control themselves. So therefore, we're going to take that away. This is one of the stupidest decisions I've ever heard in my entire life. This is literally saying you have no control over yourself. You are a complete victim. You have no need to control yourself. There's no such thing as cause and effect or consequences based on your actions. There's none of that. So therefore, we're just going to take away the bullet out of the gun because we don't want you to have that. Because you're shooting yourself, and instead of teaching them not to do that, we're just going to take the gun away. What we could be doing is, maybe promoting natural health ways. We could be promoting exercise. We could actually have some cleaner health, some grocery stores that are advertising. We could be promoting the facts on this, trying to educate people that if you eat a lot of junk food and a lot of fast food, you're probably going to have higher cholesterol. You're probably going to have an obesity issue. You're probably going to be feeling sick. You're probably not going to have as much energy. You're probably going to have heart disease. You're going to X, Y, and Z. Go down the list and say, look, just educate yourself. Make your own decision, but educate yourself. So that way you can make the choice on you. The problem is, you want to know why the deeper issue is here? You want to know why they're actually promoting this? Is because they do have a universal basic income or a universal healthcare system in the UK, and the government's probably getting a little bit overridden financially with taking care of people with their heart issues or heart attacks or clogged arteries or whatever they have to do with the obesity problem in the UK, and the government can't support funding the healthcare system with a lot of obese people. So they're desperate. So instead of promoting like advertising for healthy eating habits or for exercise or for not eating that type of stuff, they're just going to get rid of it for you. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Let's just get rid of these things. If you don't see it, then you're not going to do it because you are impulsive and you can't control yourself. So we're going to have to do it for you. The ultimate nanny state. There's another story that takes it to an entirely another level. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's a pre-Friday celebration. We got a lot to get to today. It's going to be a fun one. Good policy, bad policy. Taking the bullet away, getting rid of the advertisement, is that's going to stop people from eating fast food and from being obese. Kind of an interesting thought, isn't it?
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Missed part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station.
We're here for you.
Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program. Thanks for hanging out. 24 minutes past the hour. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. The United Kingdom banning fast food advertisements till after 9 p.m. on their media outlets because we don't want people to be obese. We're trying to combat obesity in the nation. So therefore, we can't let you see advertisements of fast food restaurants. Got a comment on one of the social medias, but you can find us Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch.tv, also on ourfreedombook.com, on Instagram, on TikTok, and excuse me. I swear, okay, so I think, here's the fun thing with this cold, and I swear I'm almost past this, I promise. I swear that I have COVID, the Delta variant, because they say that the Delta variant is really the common cold or seasonal allergies. You get fever, you get cough, you get runny nose, you get a headache, and that's really all the stuff that I've had, which is the exact same symptoms, by the way, of a cold, common cold or flu or the seasonal allergies. But you're not going to test for seasonal allergies. You're not going to test positive for the cold because everything now is about COVID. So if I go and get tested, they'll definitely test positive for COVID and tell me to isolate, which is ridiculous because it's stupid. So I'm not going to, but I wonder, I don't know. This one's kicking my butt for a couple of days, but we do that. I started drinking that tea last night and today. And even though it doesn't sound like it, I feel a heck of a lot better than I have the last couple of days, which is really awesome. Had a comment on there, why starting at 9 p.m.? Why can they advertise for the fast food restaurants in the UK after 9 p.m.? That's simple. So there's a limit in media, and some people may not know this, some of the inside ball for radio and for TV. There's a time frame on more of the adult content advertising that you can have on radio and on TV. If it's like adult venues like strip clubs or, gentlemen's clubs or whatever you want to call them, certain bars and restaurants and nightclubs, a lot of that stuff. A lot of that is restricted on when they can actually advertise on certain day parts, and a lot of that's overnight, starting at like 9 or 10 o'clock in most places, and goes till the overnights and early morning till about 4 or 5 in the morning. So what they're essentially doing is they're now labeling fast food restaurant advertising as adult content that's a little bit more extreme, or a little bit more radical, or something that's a little bit controversial, so to speak, in some way, shape, or form. And that's why they're going to limit it to the overnight hours for advertising of fast food restaurants in the United Kingdom. That's how crazy this conversation is going, because instead of the government coming out and saying, look, we have an obesity problem, you're eating way too much fatty and salty foods, we want you to eat healthy. Let's do a promotion to educate people on the health risks of that, and say that increases heart failure, that increases cholesterol, that increases this, that increases heart attack, whatever. At the same time, maybe you start getting more advertisers of, gyms, workout centers, natural grocers, gardens that are in the area, different food markets, fresh food markets. You promote that stuff on how healthy it is, on how cheap it is, on how good it is for you, and how you should be eating, that sort of stuff. Maybe you do a campaign against it instead of saying, sorry, we know you have bad habits, so instead of teaching you otherwise, we're just going to take away the opportunity for you to see it. Because to me, that is the ultimate government nannyism, telling people that you can't control your impulses, so we're just going to take away the impulse opportunity for you. But if that doesn't work, let's take it to another level. This one, again, out of The Guardian as well, theguardian.com. There is a new tool that was developed out of New Zealand, a weight loss tool for you to help control your impulse urges to want to eat bad food and eat excessive amounts of food. A magnet that they install on your teeth and in your mouth that prevents your mouth from opening more than 2 millimeters. Oh, yes. If you can't stop eating the bad fast food, we're going to put magnets on your teeth and your mouth to where you're physically unable to open your mouth, so that way you can only eat liquid food, and we can stop you from impulse eating or eating too much. A weight loss tool that uses magnets to stop people from opening their mouths wide enough to eat solid food has been developed by scientists in order to tackle obesity. No more teaching people cause and effect consequences and proper habits. No. If you can't control yourself, we'll just shut your mouth permanently with some magnets in your mouth.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day.
So it's a win-win.
Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
The Hooser Media Network is way more than just the voice of reason. It's your source to find numerous different online talk shows, podcasts, TV, and radio programs, all in one simple online location for you. From political talk to health talk to whatever you may be interested in, we're here for you. And I tell you, it's growing every day. Catch Tracy Maxfield with her podcast, Engage, Educate, and Empower, discussing mental health issues in children and teenagers. From bullying, teenage suicide, addiction, ADHD, and so much more, learn from Tracy and her guests about symptoms, signs, and ways to talk to your children, plus so much more. Having battled depression, being the author of the internationally acclaimed book, Escaping the Rabbit Hole, and being a retired nurse, Tracy is kind of the go-to on the subject. Make sure to find her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, along with her website at tracymaxfield.com. Also, make sure to tune into the weekly podcast, Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy. Taking that next big leap of faith is hard. Trying to write a book, maybe struggling with a relationship, looking to take that next big career step. What's stopping you? There's a lot of big questions there, and they're questions that Rachel and Shannon want to help with you each and every week. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll on any of your favorite podcasting sites and on Facebook and YouTube. All of these shows and a heck of a lot more can be found on the Hooser Media Network Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure to follow and subscribe to check them out today. Follow all the shows, and if you have any inquiries, check us out at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. And I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
So hopefully you signed up for the Hooser Media Network newsletter, the Voice of Reason newsletter, becoming a Hooserholic. Yeah, talk about impulse. You can't control yourself. You can't control yourself listening to this program every day, following everything we do. And we love you for that one. Welcome back in. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Newsletter went out earlier today, so hopefully you enjoyed that one. You can always respond to it or email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts on some of the topics we have on there. If you have any ideas for it, we'd always love to hear from you there. If you get signed up like today and you didn't receive it, I'll check tonight and we can resend that out to you. If not, you can always go to HooserReason.com, become a Hooserholic, HOOSER Reason.com. Sign up for the newsletter, totally free. We don't spam you all the time. And if you get signed up, we'll get you all lined up for the next one here in just a few weeks from now. I cannot believe the first day of July already, going into the 4th of July celebration. Karen Straughan, not able to get a hold of her right now. We'll try and get her on the program in just a little bit, but that's all right because we got a little backed up with this story. With what's going on, the food issue, trying to ban junk food advertising after 9 p.m. Also now, according to The Guardian, we have this weight loss tool that apparently is really, really great. Just this new thing. It's a magnet people use to put in their mouth, and it stops them from opening their mouth wide enough to eat solid food. Now, they say it's been developed by scientists in order to try and tackle obesity. What that really is just a way to shut you up. I mean, who comes to their mindset that, you know what, this is a great idea in any way, shape, or form? I remember a story we read just a couple of days ago about, and this was from Axios, about how America's moving towards socialism because our generation, my generation, the 30s, the young 30s, the millennials, and even behind me, are starting to accept socialism more and more. Now only roughly 50% of my generation and lower support capitalism, and socialism is growing with support across this nation because of, the progressive mindset of identity politics is working. That you're poor because you're a victim, you're poor because you're a minority, you have a different skin color, so you have to believe this way, you have a different religion so you need to believe this way, you are a different gender, so you have to believe this way, oh, you identify as a different gender, so you really need to fit this way, and if you don't fit in those norms, then you're probably doing harm to your people because your people are over there. Again, the identity politics, putting people in that glass box and that glass ceiling and putting that glass ceiling on to where they can't go any further. That's the left wing's, kudos. That's what they do. And then when you get called out on it, you start blaming society itself. Well, critical race theory. It's not our fault. It's your fault. The system's oppressed. The system is set up to oppress us like this because apparently we still have slavery out there, which is really crazy and boggles the mind that we actually run our lives believing this kind of garbage. But that's what they believe. So we have these unfairnesses in society, not the unfairness in opportunity or outcome, because we don't want equal outcomes. We want equal opportunity. And then it's up to you, again, trigger to the left-wing progressives here. It's up to you to decide your fate with what opportunities you take advantage of. I know. It's a scary thought because you could make or break yourself and your entire career and your entire livelihood, but that's up to you and you alone. Some people don't like that. Some people want others to take care of them, which is why now we're trying to block you from seeing advertisements of fast food restaurants because it's a controversial content that can only be aired overnight. That's why we now have a tool apparently to help tackle obesity by putting magnets in your mouth so you can't open your mouth wide enough to eat solid foods. That's crazy. But this is the direction I think we're going now. This stuff isn't being seen in the U.S. yet, but with an idea of growing socialism across this nation, this is what we want. What some want, not everybody, obviously, because that's really stupid, and we get that, but some people really, really want this type of mindset because when they believe in socialism, they believe that their entire life is out of their hands. They have no responsibility. They have no consequences for their actions. They don't have to worry about anything. They can do anything they want to. Which is why, if you disagree with me, you can always email me. But if you believe in like universal basic income or universal health care, you're essentially saying, if you believe in universal health care, that, you know what, I'm going to eat anything I want to. I'm going to eat fast food. I'm going to eat burgers. I'm going to eat tacos. Come on, tacos. You can't beat tacos. I'm going to eat pizza. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to eat a bag of chips every night. I'm going to eat Cheetos. I'm going to eat anything I want to. But then if I have a triple heart bypass that I need because I have a heart attack or I have clogged arteries, then you know what? The government's got me for it. I don't have to pay for it. It's not going to be on me. And you know what? The government is there to take care of my lifestyle. That's why the UK is saying, wait a second, maybe we should stop, advertising some of this because we need to tackle this because it's getting really, really expensive to take care of a large obese population because they're eating too much junk food. But that's what the left-wing progressives want. They love every aspect of their life being taken under control so they don't have to worry about it. It's kind of a lower IQ, we'll use the Joe Biden words here for a second, Neanderthal type of movement to where you just want to go about your day, live your life, and have government hold your hand and tell you these are the options you have. A nice little 6-year-old child, do you want the pink dress today or do you want the blue dress today? Which one do you want? I want that one. Little Voice of Reason loves that too. She, by the way, I forget whatever zodiac sign she is, she despises choices. She tries to put in a movie at night to go to bed, and we're like, all right, do you want to watch this movie, or this movie? And she spent literally a half hour just staring at them. Pick one. So we just kind of pick one for her and be like, here, it's going to be a surprise. Put it in, and just whatever's in there, she's going to end up watching because she hates making decisions. And not to say she's the style because she's smarter than Joe Biden already at 7 years old, but there are a lot of people that don't want to make decisions. They don't want to make tough decisions. They don't want to have to think about the decisions that they have made to actually take personal responsibility for them. My generation, apparently a lot of them wants to eat Tide Pods and not have to worry about it because if they get sick from eating said Tide Pod, then we have a universal healthcare system that's going to take care of them. But we've gone to the ultimate level of control, the ultimate level of lack of personal responsibility by saying, you know what, I can't control myself. Please don't let me see advertisements for fast food restaurants because that triggers me to want to go out and eat them. That's what an advertisement's supposed to do. If you hear a TV ad or a radio ad, it's supposed to get you enticed with their product to go and purchase said product because that's the way capitalism works. That's the way the free market works. A business is advertising on radio or on TV or on online or wherever else they're advertising with the intent to get you to want to go buy their product. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that wrong? I don't understand why that's wrong, why that's a bad idea to have, because that's the whole purpose, getting their message out in front of you. And if you can't control yourself, who the hell's problem is that? There's a lot of states across the nation right now that even look at that at like casinos. Well, you know, if there's a casino, they're just going to be like a casino addicts and they're going to be spending their money and we're going to cause issues because there's going to be people coming in and spending all their money and then they're going to be broke and then they're going to have to foreclose on their homes because people have problems. People have issues and they're not going to be able to control themselves. I know state of Nebraska going through that issue right now. State of Ohio, where I came from, there was a lot of issue about a casino. A casino had to be on a boat in the lake because it couldn't be actually on the land because they were concerned about Native American stuff, but then they were also concerned about the addiction that it causes and the issues and how it destroys people's lives. Guess what? That's sad. Maybe they should have a little more control. Andy, it's not their fault. They're victims. Well, then we need to work on ways to strengthen their mind so they have a little bit more control. I'm not saying that addicts aren't out there, and I'm not saying that it's not a bad, hard fight, because obviously it is. Whether it's an addiction to gambling, whether it is for sex, whether it is for alcohol, whether it is for whatever else, what other vice is out there. Drugs, tons of drugs all over the place. There's addiction out there. Now, has the war on drugs, how's that been working out? Trying to say we're just going to ban it all. You're going to find a way to do it if you really want to, because it's not addressing the deeper root problem. It's not addressing the problem of, you know what, let's make these people educated, let's make them healthy, and let's make them not want to do it. We're just going to tie their hands so they can't do it. It worked really well with the war on drugs, right? We still have a major drug problem all over the country. We still have pharmaceuticals that are being abused every single day. We have drugs being taken over the borders from the cartels, bringing them up here and selling them and distributing them across the nation. We have a major issue. Maybe we should create a scenario to where they don't want to get them as opposed to trying to get rid of the product. That's what's happening here. If someone is addicted to fast food, whether they get rid of the advertisements or whether they put the magnet in their mouth to not open, they're going to find a way to do it. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go to the McDonald's or whatever they have. They're going to put the burger in a blender. They're going to blend it up into a smoothie, and they're going to put the straw in their mouth because they can't eat the solid food. If they're really desperate for that fix of fast food with the salt and the fats and whatever else, they're going to find a way to do it. Same with gun control. If you really want to harm somebody, you're going to find a way to get a gun, or you're going to find a way to use a car, or to use a knife, or whatever. You can't control people without educating them and letting them make their own choices. They will always find a way to do what they want to do. And that's the number one basic fundamental flaw on the left side of the aisle that they just don't grasp and understand. You cannot take the gun away and expect gun crimes to go down. You cannot take the fast food away and expect people to eat healthy again. You cannot take away their rights and expect them to live freely. You can't do it. What you have to do is you have to allow them the choices and promote the healthy, and you have to educate, and you have to let them make their own choices. And what you really have to do, that we have to get back to in society, is we have to let them suffer the consequences of their own decisions. Cause and effect, consequences, the action makes a reaction. And we have to get back to that. Guess what? When we talk about abortion or we talk about, teen pregnancy, that's when you warn them, you know what? You're going to have fun. You're going to do your thing because we can't stop you, and you're going to find a way to do it if that's what you really want to do. But guess what? If you get pregnant, then we're going back to shotgun weddings, and we're going to force you to get back together because we're not going to let you off the hook here. You're going to take responsibility for your actions. End of story. and seen. It's frustrating, but that's what we have to get back to. And it's tough love, but it's love that has to happen because we need to teach people about what goes on. You cannot tell them, well, you know what? You have an obesity problem. You're not going to want to eat fast food anymore, so we're just going to take the advertisement away, and maybe that won't be as much of a thing for you. To me, it's a lazy way of addressing an issue. It's a cheap way of addressing an issue. And it's a controlling way of addressing an issue because we're not actually addressing the issue. We're sidelining, we're distracting, and we're trying to put a Band-Aid over a gaping hole, and it just doesn't work. But socialists that are growing in support, they eat this stuff up, baby. They think it's the end-all, be-all that's going to save the country.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program. And here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com.
Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. And I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hoosier Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HooserReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hoosierholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
All right, couple minutes left here of the program here on the Voice of Reason radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Made it through without too many hesitations of the coughing fit. So well done on that one. Pretty impressed with myself. Of course I do that. All right, radio, TV, live stream, and podcast. You know I had to go here. After all this discussion about personal responsibility, taking care of your own health, doing your thing, I mean, yeah, you can eat all the fast food you want. I have to admit, I have a few vices of that myself. I love certain restaurants. Love certain stuff. I realize how bad it is for me, and I take that risk. And if I have a heart attack because of it, then it's my own damn fault. It's not because they advertised to tell me to get it and got me addicted. It's because I chose to openly go and do that. We have to get back to that mindset of taking personal responsibility, consequences, and actions for our consequences for the actions that we actually take. The action, the reaction, just the basic law of physics or Murphy's Law or whatever kind of law that you want it to be. But you know I had to go here. And that's with COVID. Because last year, what have we done? We've really said we are so scared that we're going to let the government handle this for us rather than do it ourselves. I've said this many times on the show before, I have yet to hear a single health official across the nation, Fauci or the World Health Organization or the CDC or state health departments, wherever you may be across the nation, I've yet to hear a single one of them say, along with trying to wear the mask or the isolation, the quarantining, or the social distancing, or the vaccination, along with all that stuff, what you can do is you can take some health into your hands to make it less severe if you do end up contracting these viruses, which is exercising, not being in the obese category, taking certain vitamins like D3, magnesium, and zinc, by doing these certain things to limit your exposure, because we can tell by the numbers. By the way, this is confirmed by Dr. Fauci in his emails as well, that primarily, not all the time, but primarily, the virus worstly affects individuals that are obese, that are immune compromised, or that are elderly. So if you're elderly, do your precautions, get the vaccine, whatever you got to do. If you're autoimmune compromised, you have certain medical illnesses, take precautions, wear the mask, get the vaccination, do whatever you got to do. If you're obese, you have an opportunity there. You can do all those things. At the same time, you can work to not be obese and have healthier eating habits. You can work on things like taking certain vitamins. If you're younger age and you're under like the age of 60, then you have a really good chance of becoming asymptomatic if you end up getting the virus. But they're using this new Delta variant as the scare to get the vaccine because they don't want you to have other options. The only option, according to them, is to go and get the vaccine so that way you're part of the herd immunity. What they're not telling you is that if you've already had the virus and you have the antibodies in your system, you're part of that herd immunity. That's been confirmed as well. But NBC News, COVID cases up 10% as the hyper-transmissible Delta variant spreads. And I told you, I swear I have it right now. I swear. It's a ridiculous cold. I've had the sinus headache for a couple of days, got the sniffles, super stuffy. I've had not really a fever at all, but just had the cough just from the throat stuff, kind of a sore throat once in a while, been down in tea nonstop. Guess what? May I have it because that's all the symptoms of it. It could be just be common cold too, which I'm probably sure it is. But nowadays, I think the cold and the Delta variants are one and the same because they want this continue on to force everybody to get this vaccine. Not saying there's some kind of sinister reasoning for it other than control of, we told you to do it, you need to go and do it and just abide by the rules. And when we have a personal, consequence thing, personal action, reaction sort of thing with our own decisions, we can make our own decisions. If I have COVID right now, let's just speculate for a second. If I have it and I end up getting super sick, that's on me. That's on me. Probably because last week I kind of slacked off a little bit on actually taking my vitamin regimen, and then days after I ended up getting sick. Weird, right? Weird consequences there. Certain things just doesn't make any sense, right? So I slacked on that. My consequence was that I got sick. I got a cold, and I'm battling that now. Guess what? I'm starting to take herbal teas, and I'm starting to feel better. I did that naturally. I did that on my own, and that was my choice that I chose to make myself feel a little bit better, which is really cool because there's going to be a lot of more information on that from Mrs. Voice of Reason with the Hooser Health segment as we start to launch that over the next few months. And get ready because there's some really cool stuff there. And again, consult your physician before you take any of these things because you can't promote natural medicine as actual proven health things, which is really stupid in this country. But you can't patent it. So therefore, nobody's making any money on it. So therefore, you have to say it's just an idea for entertainment purposes and go and consult your physician for them to tell you that natural things are bad and the synthetic pretend one is the one that actually works. I'm not bitter or anything, though. It's fine. Whatever. You have the choices. You can do it yourself. You can choose your lifestyles. But whatever you choose in life, remember there are consequences, positive or negative, for them, which is what the government's trying to take away. So instead, we're going to shut your mouth. We're going to not let you see advertisements. We're going to filter your life so that way you only see what we want you to see. World to live in, right? Back at it tomorrow to wrap up for a Friday here for The Voice of Reason. Remember to be your own voice of reason. This is The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. Everyone have a wonderful Thursday afternoon.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms.